What's up? This is a quick look at the world record on map 19. In order to understand this run, you need to know that at high speeds, Trackmania physics give you a little bit of a boost if you are sliding with the tire tracks overlapping. This is referred to as a speed drift or speed slide, and I usually aim to keep roughly 50% overlap. Now, let's look at the world record by Acid Gurke. He starts off by preparing for the jump in a way that allows him to land already in a speed slide. A quick right and left tap provides just a little bit of rotation, which is exactly what we want here. I usually just line up in the middle and do a left tap substantially before takeoff. This allows me to very easily get a small amount of rotation, but the wider line that I have to take to do this is probably a bit slower. If I rotate too much, I just need to tap earlier. Upon landing, Acid Gurke performs this epic triple slide, first going left until the curved section. As the slope curves downwards away from the car, traction is reduced and he is able to initiate another slide to the right without tapping brake. Usually this is only possible above a speed of 600. Then comes another slide to the left that also relies on the curvature to get initiated. The slide is held all the way into the turnover. The world record aims to come back down almost straight, which gives him the opportunity to perform another small slide to the right without running right in the next turn as a result. This slide is mostly blind because the game forces you into the internal camera during the turnover and you can't change it until passing the checkpoint. Since he is above a speed of 600, the grass patch that the map editor placed to help you get the slide going is not even necessary, and just holding left for a bit during the transition is enough. Acid Gurke holds the slide as long as possible to then cancel it right before the dirt by steering right. This allows him to do another 2 small slides before entering the wall ride. This first section of the map already involved 5 slides on asphalt. It is quite challenging to get up to a good speed, and I regularly get attempts where I enter the wall ride 40 speeds slower than the world record, which then makes it harder to get good slides later on because things don't quite line up so well. Now comes the first of many wall rides. These are usually taken as low as possible on exit and entry, with a little bit of steering in a downwards direction so that your car follows a natural arc. After a wide exit, the world record performs another slide that is initiated upon exiting the wall ride. This one too is in the internal cam, and the amount of steering that needs to be done is mostly muscle memory. For me, this is one of the hardest slides in this run. If you mess up the wall ride, you will either bonk on the checkpoint or overshoot and bonk on the arrows. Also, I sometimes don't get the slide at all and don't even notice. Acid Gurke passes under the checkpoint and has to cancel the slide and steer left to make it into the loop. As he is about to level out, he puts in a bunch of left steering and initiates the next slide that is also pretty much blind due to the black asphalt. Keeping the right amount of overlap is incredibly difficult in this section, and I rarely get a good attempt at this. In my current PB, I end up only getting a 1 tire slide and didn't even notice. This slide carries all the way to the long wall ride. Acid Gurke exits immediately steering left, taking a wide entry to start the next slide as early as possible. Holding the right angle on the slope and during the transition I found quite difficult. Also, I was too slow for this line to work because my tighter turn radius made me crash on the inside. I end up taking a different approach and initiating the slide later. After this incredibly long slide, he has a speed above 840 and enters the icy wall ride. Acid Gurke ends up going a bit high and has to cancel some of his momentum as he comes back down. I'm not actually sure whether this is a mistake or intentional. Then he enters the loop after another speed slide. At these high speeds, a loop that small will eat a lot of your momentum, but since there is no way to avoid it without losing more time and speed, we do have to take it. Acid Gurke loses almost 200 speed and exits the loop immediately, starting another speed slide. Now he exits the wall right with another slide that lasts for an eternity. The angle is not that hard to hold since he is on flat ground. I find that this turn sometimes doesn't line up that well if you're a lot slower like I usually am. Right before the finish, there is a small cut where we jump through the trees instead of taking the long way around. I think the world record almost misses this to the right, and he has to put in a little bit more steering than ideal to avoid hitting the higher section of the penalty block and upsetting the car. He still reaches a speed of 840 before jumping into the goal. Alright, I finally understand why some people only play this style, and I had a lot of fun. I only managed to get a top 700 placement since I don't have that much time to play if I also want to make a video. I think Nadeo did an amazing job with this one. See ya.